There's a lot of similarities between this life and video game life. The first similarity is that we are all starting at the same point, or a similar point at least. We all start down at level 1. You grind experience, or you do tasks, and then you gain levels, yeah? So you gain levels. In games it tends to be all in one linear pattern. You gain a level, then you gain another level, and you gain another level, and it like changes your stats across the board, okay? So we level up in games in the same way you can level up in life. But imagine if a game was so big that you could level up every single aspect of yourself. And yes, Lee did hit on this in his I Cheated video, where he talks about how you can level up different personality traits, but imagine that you can do the same thing across the board. You can level up your leg strength, you can level up your other leg strength, you can level up your calf strength, you can level up your ability to kick a football this direction, and then you can level up that direction. It's not like you can't see my feet, can you? No, you can't see my feet. So the only way to do this is to practice it. And that's the same on a game. So if you're happy to sit and grind for XP on a game all day long, get to level 100 on World of Warcraft or whatever, I know it doesn't go to level 100, I do actually know. If you're happy to do that, then why aren't you happy to sit at home grinding press-ups, grinding sit-ups? Is it because there's a little bit of pain involved? Is it because there's a little bit of difficulty? Imagine that as your hard setting, okay? But it's not like in a game where at the beginning it starts easy, and then it gets harder as you get better. It doesn't work like that, especially with exercise. Imagine if a game was as complex as life. Like your ability to pick up girls was affected by how you reacted. Your social status was affected by how you reacted to everyone else and how they reacted to you. You have to make decisions on everything, and you have to have your own personal opinion. It would be a huge game, it would be the best game ever, and you'd all play it. It would be the biggest. It also has 7 billion interactive characters. 7 billion! That's mad! You have the biggest game in the world, and a lot of you are wasting your time on the smaller games because you just get to sit at home and smash on a console, yeah? A lot of you are saying there's no adventure to be had. There's no one comes in and says there's this quest, a dragon's coming to destroy my hometown, I need to go and fight it or everything's gonna die. No, that doesn't happen. Okay, it's very rare that happens, and if it did happen, you wouldn't want that. So you're saying adventure doesn't come to you, but you need to go to adventure. If you want there to be quests and adventures and finding different things across the world, then you need to go out and get them, okay? It's basically like, a lot of you are on Pokemon Red, and you've just opened the game, you're just in that first room, and then you just, nah, fuck Professor Oak. I'm not going to see him. It's gonna be difficult. If I go and see him, I'm gonna have to like go off. You're in that first room and you're just standing there, and then you go and you chat to your mum, and then you go to school, and then you come back, and then eventually you go to work, and you come back. When all you would have had to do is go out and look for that adventure, and you would have found it. So that's the other thing. You've got to look yourself for adventure. It's not going to come to you. That's the thing about video games. It's got a linear story. So you get sent into the adventure no matter what. Imagine if you had to play a game and had to find every bit of adventure in it. You wouldn't play it, yeah? But in real life, there is adventure to be had. You need to go, you need to look. There's places to travel, things to see. If you like adventure games where you're traveling across all these places, and what you actually like is the idea that you're traveling and meeting new things, doing new things, you can do that in real life, but you have to gain currency. And that's the same as the XP thing. You need to grind for that. That's not going to just come out of nowhere. You need to put time and effort into that to be able to go and travel and see all these wonderful things across the world. And another thing that people don't think there is they don't think there's big battles. And yeah, some people think, oh yeah, I can go to war, I can go join the army. But in reality, that's only one form of battle, and most people don't want to get shot at, or they don't want to be involved in that. Maybe you don't agree with the reasons that you think people are going to war. So you think of that as the only type of fighting there is, or you think, oh, martial arts is the only type of war there is, the only battle there is, which is just fun. But there's way more big bosses out there. There's more big boss battles than you can possibly imagine, like famine. You can go and try and fight famine, and if you're like, oh, there's no big boss, that's what bigger boss is there? Try and fight famine, try and fight cancer. Yeah, it's not easy, and no, there isn't a massive bit of glory to be had along the way, and you may never beat these things. We may never beat these things, but trying and fighting that big boss battle is actually what the whole point is. So imagine these big boss battles, these like big corporations that aren't treating people with respect. You could you could make a corporation that does, or attack in a positive way, attack the corporations that are causing problems. So don't act like there's no big boss battles to be had on this planet, because there's millions. And if you don't know about them, then you need to do some reading. So the thing about these big boss battles, or the idea that you're leveling up, is that you have to go stage by stage. It's like trying to go to university before you've done primary school. It's not going to happen. You have to do stage by stage, and that works in your education, that works in your personal education, and I believe they are very different things. Yes, you can go to uni, yes, you can go to high school, you can go to whatever school for however long, but you need to be educating yourself as well, because there's some things that people won't teach you, okay? So personal education, your own education, you need to level up through the different processes. It's like trying to understand the theory of relativity before you've even read a book. There's no way that you can go from doing 1 push-up to doing 100 push-ups in a day, in a week. So you've got to do this leveling up, and yeah, it's slow. And if you want to do these big boss battles like I was mentioning earlier, like famine, cancer, problems in the Middle East, big corporations. If you want to do these big battles, you have to do the little battles first. Maybe sending a letter, maybe get involved in corporations, get involved in business. You can't just expect to jump from small to big. It's like same with adventure. When I mentioned adventure earlier, yeah, there is adventure to be had, but you don't want to jump straight into the biggest adventure. You don't want to go and drop off in the Congo. You're not Bear Grylls yet, okay? You're not Bear Grylls yet. So make sure you do little adventures first. Check your town out, check your city out, check your country out. A game we used to play as a joke was this game called Quap, yeah? And it basically controlled the individual muscles, and you had to try and run 100 meters, and I swear to God, it was the hardest game. You're never gonna experience a game that difficult. You have to have some crazy, maybe some musicians like drummers and things could get it, because they can get the rhythm that you need to get or whatever, but it's really difficult. But imagine that across every single thing. Like, you have to control everything with a controller, and that's why they can't make a game as good as life. You complete a normal video game and you get that feeling of, oh yeah, I achieved this, but in real life, any little achievement is worth more than that. Any little achievement, something like being able to talk to a girl you've wanted to talk to for ages, after doing your leveling up in social skills, after having that boss battle, when you can say to people at the end of your life, on your deathbed, you can say to them, at least I did something. You need to make sure that you're living it to the best of your ability. You're not wasting your time on maybe playing things like other video games. You need to go out and take every opportunity you can and level up the best you can. Hit us up on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Hit us up on everything. Give us some comments, give us some love. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you want another video on the same subject, a different video on a different subject. Give us questions, give us whatever you want. Interact with us. We're human beings. We're human beings, so interact with us. Have a good day, people. Boom.